This is the course about work. This is our practicum course. So I wanted to just come to you, make a quick video, and kind of tell you my story about how I got started in a career, what I did. Because as you look at as you learn about all the different components of IT, no doubt you're gonna kind of wonder where you fit in. What are you looking to do? And so, what I really want to do in this class is obviously you're gonna go out and you're gonna work, or you're gonna do some things to get started in that in the field. And you may find yourself, just taking whatever's available to get that process started, and that's fine. And that's just part of beginning the process of a career. But you also want to, at the same time, to kind of look at the strategic option of what is it that I can do um, strategically to get myself where I want to be. So you have to kind of make some choices, and of course, life can throw curveballs at you. I chose to go once I graduated high school. I went to Cure College. um, I majored in computer science, and so I got an associate degree in computer science, and I knew I wanted to go to Texas A&M University. I didn't really know what I wanted to study there. I was assuming that it was computer science. As I began to look and see what options were available, computer engineering stood out, and so I went in that field. I did not really know at the time that it would be a completely math intensive field. I wasn't really aware of, the amount of mathematics that was here. So that particularly didn't really work out for me. But I ended up going and moving into agriculture. And it was in that particular field of studying agriculture that I began to realize that I wasn't necessarily defined by what I studied in college. I was able to utilize everything I did study in college to do more things with my career. So it was basically a learning experience for me, and that I want to give to you, is that you are not defined by the things you do as much as you are defined by the moves you make, right? So you decide what you want to do. You can turn that into anything you want, and so you have to approach the world of work in a very confident way, right? So you may want to go out and do something, maybe work at a help desk, or but that's not your end goal, right? That's maybe not where I want to stay. I want to do something different, but I have to make some jumps, right, to get there. And so as I began to I worked my career started with fast food, and I was in the fast food industry, and for the longest time I let that be something that I was not really proud of. I thought, oh, that's the only job I can get. And it was I enjoyed working in the field of fast food, and I mean, but I knew that it wasn't where I ultimately wanted to go. I was like, okay, well, there's not really option here. In reality, that's absolutely not true. It's from a perspective of business. If I had thought about it, what I know now about the way things work, there are all kinds of opportunities to go into the business, um, whether it's hospitality or whatnot, and I can use the things that I know and that I know about computers and information technology to make those areas of business work. So as we look, if you look at all the things you're learning in your program, whether it's operating systems or different types of programming languages, or the way networks function, or how to analyze um, Wireshark, or how to do something in the cloud, what you have to remember is that you, as an IT person, you're always a service person. You're always somebody who is attached to an organization that does something else. Now, truly, I could go and I could work at Intel, or I could work at AMD, I could work at Google, and I could actually be on a project team or Amazon, and that's fine. Those are all things that many of you could do if you wanted to do that. But you have to be strategic in what you decide you want to do. And so the reality is probably that if you were to apply for a particular job at, say, Amazon or Google, you may not really be able to get that job at this immediate juncture, right? You may have to take another job temporarily before you can move to that specific job function. So you got to think, what type of skills and experience do I need in order to get this job? And so there's an employer out there that is going to be able to provide for you the skills and experience that you need to make your strategic career move. And at the same time, you get to help that person do something. So you got to think about your career strategically. Yeah, but so for the long time, I thought, oh, it's just, I'm just in some dead end job, right? But had I thought about my life in a strategic way, I could have made things work a little bit better for me, right? So that is something, that a piece of wisdom that I want to give to you, and you may hear me talk about it over and over. I went through the restaurant industry into the legal field, and then I went from there into a call center. Now, one of the things that I was able to do when I thought about how I didn't really think about that this was a career for me, but I ended up spending the next 12 years in a call center, providing customer service and support, answering billing questions, product questions, selling different products. And what I realized over this whole time period is that customer service was just another area that I was able to work in. Now, had I been strategic, I may have made a different choice, right? So there's a difference between taking what job is out there and making a strategic move. So one of the things that we will explore is, what is a strategic move? What does it mean? Where do you want to go? Right. So until you look at that and think about what options are available to you, you can't make a strategic choice. You just, as what one friend of mine would say, you're just testing the fates, right? You're just rolling the dice. So we want to make strategic moves and make a decision, because it will get us where we want to go. Now, what that's going to do is it's going to feed in to our resume writing. It's going to feed into how we communicate. So if I know my strategic plan, then I know that when I'm talking to an interviewer and he says, "Why do you want to work for us?" Right? That's the question they're always going to ask. That's like one of the last questions they ask before they say you're hired. Okay? Why do you want to work for us? You look that guy straight in the eye, right? And you don't do what I did, right? So here's what I did. Right? Why do you want to work for us? I was sitting in an interview for a 911 dispatcher job. Right? I needed a job I was taking whatever I could get. I wasn't being strategic at all. And I was sitting in an interview. I had done all of the skills test fine. Right? I had done all the communication. I've been communicating with people on the phone for 15 years, right? There was nothing new here. And so I was sitting in this interview and they said, "Why do you want to work for us?" And I looked at him and I said, I don't. I'm just trying to get this job so that I can get to the next thing. And that was absolutely non-strategic. It was the truth, but it was example of why don't make a non-strategic job move, right? And so, you got to find a reason to be wherever you are. And so anyway, I didn't get the job there, and I'm glad I didn't want it. But if you have a strategic idea of where your career is going to go, and you know what it is, you can look at your interviewer confidently in the eye and say, "I want to work for you because I see a pathway here. I see how I can improve myself and work for you at the same time and ultimately get where I want to go." Now, that could be several years from now, and I'll work for you, and in the meantime, or I may find that, this is a great place for me to be, and I want to be part of the next leadership of this company. Right? Either one of those are gonna be good for both of us. So that answer, right? No matter how you phrase it, or you could do both of those things and say both of them, but it exudes confidence, right? And so that's what you want to do. Is you want to show that you're making a strategic decision to seek a job, to seek employment. It shows that you're mature and you're capable. And that's something we're going to talk about in this course. What's your strategic goals? I always had it in the back of my mind that being a teacher would be a cool thing to do. I never thought that I would actually do it. And so every day when I get to do this, I'm definitely aware that it's a privilege to be a teacher. And I did not know, because I was always in the call center. I was always in that field. I never knew that I was going to be a network engineer either. Right? Again, that was a lack of being strategic. Right? It wasn't my goal. Um, I knew I wanted to work with computers always. So in this class, I want you to figure out what it is that you think you want to do. You don't have to get it right, because life is going to come and give you other things to do sometimes. But at least figure out what you think you want to do. And then we're going to work backwards from that. We're going to build a strategic career plan. So begin thinking about that. Think about who you are, what you would really like to do, if that's a job that suits you, and if not, maybe there's another job that's in that area. My wish, right? This is my wish. I wanted to be an astronaut, right? I wanted to go work for NASA. Now, this is kind of a weird thing. Like I used to like watching the people at Mission Control, and they were always doing stuff. And they had all these people in Mission Control, and everybody had a computer. And back in the '60s, when you see pictures of Mission Control, they weren't really computers. Right? They were just circuits and relays that everybody had, the ability to control. And so, but anyway, it was an image that was iconic. And anyway, I wanted to work for NASA, and so I wanted to wear a headset, right? And so anyway, I ended up doing that in customer service world. I got my headset on right now. Um, I was never an astronaut. I did get a chance in college to go to NASA, and I took the the professional behind the scene tour, and I saw all of the organization and how they function in Houston. Spent a whole day there. It was amazing. It was a life-changing experience. It was right up there with getting the opportunity to tour the GM factory, right, to see the vehicles being produced and walk the factory floor. That was amazing. That changed my entire opinion of manufacturing for the rest of my life. I want you to take experiences that you have like that can come to you, and I want you to use them to your strategic advantage. We may not get to do that in this class, but you think about things and experiences that you've had that could change the way you think about your career. So begin to think about your strategic career and objectives, and that's going to help you gather that sense of self-confidence, and it's going to help you basically get every job you want when you apply for it. So um, we'll go from there. We're going to start doing this. It's the first time I've done the strategic career objective in this course, but this is something that we're going to work on that will help you. Our job market, labor market, in some cases, are getting a little bit tight, but that's not going to be something that you'll have to deal with once you get your strategic career objectives lined out.